Being a parent is so hard, and it gets even harder if we have a kid suffering with anxiety. So stay tuned, because today we're going to talk about anxiety in children and what you as parents can do to help. Welcome back to the Daily Dose, everyone. I'm Dr. Lance Garrison. I'm a psychologist with a background in health psychology and behavioral medicine, and I'm dean for the College of Professional Psychology at the Chicago School. My goal for this channel is to help you better understand how the way that we think and feel contributes to our overall mental health. I believe knowledge is power. And when we have that knowledge, we have the power to create positive momentum for change in our lives. So let's just jump right in. And as you watch today's video, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. So as I mentioned, we're going to be discussing a topic that, as a father and as a psychologist who's dedicated the majority of my clinical practice to children and their families, is very close to my heart. And that's anxiety in children and adolescents. As a psychologist and a father with boys who have struggled with anxiety at times, I've seen firsthand how anxiety can impact young people and their families. So I'm going to share some insights and some strategies that I hope will be helpful for you in supporting your children and teens. First, I want to say that it's important to recognize that anxiety is completely normal. It's a natural part of childhood and adolescence, because as our children navigate the challenges of growing up, they're going to experience fears and worries and doubts. That's a normal part of development. And in the vast majority of cases, that anxiety is going to pass with time and support. But for some kids, anxiety can become really intense and persistent in ways that interfere with their daily lives and cause them significant distress. And that's when it's important to seek help and support from a qualified mental health professional. So, what does anxiety look like in children and adolescents? The signs and the symptoms can vary quite a lot depending on the individual kid and their age, but there are some common indicators. And a few of those include excessive worry or fear about just everyday situations like school or friendships or family. We can see kids avoiding situations or activities due to anxiety. For the young ones in particular, physical symptoms such as stomach aches or headaches or difficulty sleeping can be apparent. Difficulty concentrating or performing in school, and even irritability, restlessness, and emotional outburst can be signs. So if you notice these signs in your kid, it's important to approach that situation with compassion and with understanding. It's important to let them know that you're there to support them and that it's okay to talk about how they're feeling. One of the most effective ways that we can help kids and teens manage their anxiety is through an open and an honest dialogue. We need to create a safe and non-judgmental space where they can talk about how they're thinking and how they're feeling, and they can do it without being fearful of criticism or just being dismissed. Letting them know that it's okay to feel anxious and that you're there to help them through it is so important. You can talk to them about times that you experienced anxiety and how you have felt very much the way they do now. Another important strategy is just to model healthy coping and self-care. Children and adolescents learn by example. As a parent, you know this. So it's crucial for us as the adults in their life to demonstrate positive ways of managing and dealing with anxiety. Things like deep breathing or mindfulness or exercise or reaching out when we need support from friends or family. Because our children are always watching. They look to us as the model for how to handle difficult situations. And they're often going to go the way that we do. So there are a couple things to keep in mind. If we are parents, as parents are struggling to cope effectively with anxiety, if we're using maladaptive coping mechanisms like withdrawal or avoidance or lashing out, that's what they're learning. If you as a parent need help, reaching out and getting help is an important model. Secondly, let your kids watch how you cope with challenges. Talk to them about it. Let them know you're experiencing some anxiety, and then model the ways that you effectively manage your way through it. Be overt and obvious. Externalize your healthy internal dialogue so they can hear how you, the most important person in their life handles anxiety-provoking situations. Now, in some cases, professional help may be necessary to support a child or a teen struggling with serious anxiety. Things such as therapy. We've talked about cognitive behavioral therapy, which is very effective and can help them identify and change negative thought patterns and behaviors. Sometimes medication can also be prescribed in certain cases, as always under the qualified guidance of a medical professional or an appropriately qualified psychologist with prescribing authority. It's important to remember that every child and teen is unique. So what works for one may not work with another. As parents, we got to be patient, we got to be flexible, and we got to be willing to try different approaches until we find what helps our kid or teen manage their anxiety effectively. And as a final note, I want to emphasize the importance of self-care for you as parents and caregivers. Supporting a kid with anxiety can be challenging, it can be emotionally draining at times, so make sure to take care of your own mental health and well-being. Reach out, seek support from friends and families or professionals whenever needed. Remember, you're never alone on this journey. You're not alone. And by working together with compassion and understanding and a firm commitment to seeking help when needed, we can support the children and the teens in our lives, helping them thrive in the face of anxiety. As always, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope it's provided you with some valuable insights and a few strategies to help support the young people in your life. Until next time, please take care of yourself and each other.